Hi, welcome to our practice for our summer season. So, our summer is our time for expression, for creativity, for getting out in the world, and for celebrating. And it's really important to celebrate this time because it can feel really good to experience and to share with people what we're celebrating. So, women can experience the summer season when they are ovulating. Is usually a time when women feel like getting out there and talking to people and collaborating. For women who are not menstruating, we feel this during the full moon. That's why we'll see a lot of full moon parties. And in nature, we feel this during the summer season. So there's warmth, a lot of people are getting out and doing different parties and festivals. So there's a lot of this energy coming outwards. So the practice that I wanted to do with you for the summer season is called somatic movement. And it's a way of just celebrating our bodies and moving in a way that feels really good to us in whatever that may be. So it's a really, really good practice for celebrating whatever is going on in our bodies, wherever we are, whatever shape, size, emotion we're having, and we can just celebrate and move in a way that feels good. So you won't really need to see me today. So if you'd like to put your phone or computer in a corner where you can still hear me well, but this is mostly going to be following my voice today. And I would suggest some kind of music that you like for today's practice. So you can click on the playlist that I've suggested, or if there's some other music that you're really feeling right now and you'd like to move around and dance to, you can go ahead and start to play that now. So somatic movement is simply a movement that focuses on our inner sensations. So instead of moving in a way that somebody else outside of us is telling us how to move, we move from a way that inside we feel like we want to move from. So if you've ever watched a young baby on the floor, the way that they move is somatic movement. So they bring in this quality that everything is so new, and even looking at the tips of their fingers is so exciting, looking at their toes, putting things in their mouths. They want to sense and feel things, and they're not moving in a way that somebody else is telling them to move. They just move in whatever way their body feels like exploring the world. So when we go back to somatic movement, we are going back to that sensation of noticing our bodies and just exploring what's there. Like a young baby, they don't have prejudices of ways that their body should or shouldn't move, or ways that they should or shouldn't look. And so this can be a really healing way to go back and start to see our bodies in that way, where we start to experience that as just something we're so celebratory of and curious of. So a couple things to note about somatic movement. We will start in a position that's comfortable. A lot of people like to start this and maybe do the entire practice laying on your back. So if you'd like to take that shape now, you can do so. You can also be standing or sitting. One of the key principles is to remember to move slowly. So in a couple moments, we'll start to move in any way that feels good. And like we were talking about with noticing and just being curious about our bodies, the slower that we move, the more we can welcome in that curiosity and really notice what's going on with each little fingertip, or the crease in our wrist, or these things that we maybe often don't give too much attention to in our daily lives. And in that way, we start to honor our bodies. So we'll move slowly, we'll move gently. This should feel like a really nourishing practice. Sometimes we feel like stretching in certain ways, but somatic movement should never be painful. So if anything is feeling uncomfortable, you can avoid that movement and instead find something that feels really good. Maybe for you, this practice will just be laying on your back in a starfish shape. Maybe you'll start to find movement that feels really nourishing. We don't want to force any movement, So if you have limitations with movement and it feels like your body doesn't want to go there, or if your body normally does go somewhere and it just doesn't feel like it right now, we want to honor that. So this practice is all about just noticing what's happening and not putting it in any shape that we feel like it should be in. Just simply moving in ways that feel good right now. And we just want to move with the least amount of effort as possible. So we will move and we will expand, and I'll be offering different ways that you can do that. But we don't want to feel like anything we're like pushing with a lot of force to get to. This practice is safe for anyone at any stage of life. It's safe for pregnancy, safe for any transitional phases, as long as you are honoring your body and where you are today. So if you haven't already switched on some music, you can go ahead and do so. And we'll just start laying on our backs or in a comfortable position and just start to take a couple deep breaths. And then you can start to move. If this is your first time with somatic movement, it's okay for it to feel a little silly. Start with the sensation that you're just waking up in the morning. Pretending you have a whole king bed to yourself. You're stretching, finding the corners of the bed. Remember to keep taking deep breaths. This practice I want to allow to be your own, so I will just offer a couple words as we go, which you can use as inspiration for your movement. If it doesn't feel good to you, you can totally ignore them and do whatever is happening in your body. Taking this time to breathe, to move, be on your own in any way that feels good without needing permission, and to celebrate your body. Maybe find something small or get as small as you can. Maybe you find something big and you get as big and as wide as you can. Maybe you find something round or make a round shape. Maybe you find something linear. Finding the lines in your body or the lines that you can make with your movement. Maybe you find something strong. Maybe you find something smooth. Maybe you let out a sigh or a sound. Maybe you're feeling good on the floor and like to keep rolling around on the floor, or maybe you'd like to come to standing and start walking around your space. Maybe you find something that feels jelly-like. Maybe you feel something expanding. feel growing, rolling, or rocking. Whatever you're experiencing, feeling, the way you're moving or not moving is perfectly fine. This is a time for you to celebrate in any way that feels good. Maybe you feel shrinking, melting. Maybe you feel a pulsing. Maybe you stretch, get as big and take up as much room as you can. How does your body feel like moving? Go there. Keep going there. Keep going there. Maybe you feel a surrendering. Maybe one movement starts to lead into another. You start to feel a flow, maybe moving in ways that you've never thought of before. Staying curious, staying in celebration. Maybe you start to find a shape that feels restful to you. Maybe bringing hands to your heart, just noticing any sensations in the body. What does it feel like to have the permission to feel and to move freely? All of that coming from inside. Following your body's knowledge and your intuition. If you have the time, you're welcome to keep playing music and celebrating and moving in any way that feels good. You're welcome to write some things down or take notes to do this practice again. I hope that you find a way to really, truly celebrate yourself today and enjoy the rest of your day.